All right, let's talk. If you're a student, you love gaming, but you absolutely hate that feeling of guilt that comes creeping in afterwards, then this is for you. We're going to break down how you can actually use your PlayStation to help your studies, not torpedo them. Just stop for a second. Does this look familiar? I bet it does. That deep in your bones kind of exhaustion that just hits you after a long day of lectures, studying, and just everything. It's a feeling every single student knows way too well. And the sources? They're literally endless. It's this constant cycle of pressure from classes, deadlines that are always looming, and that voice in your head that just will not shut up and stop overthinking. So what do? You look for an escape. You fire up the console. And that's when it happens. The thing that was supposed to be your moment of relief just turns into another source of stress. But what if I told you that gaming could either destroy your focus or be the one tool that resets your brain and makes you productive again? Today, we're going to figure out exactly how. So first things first, we've got to understand the cycle itself. You know the drill. You tell yourself, okay, just 30 minutes. And then you look up and it's 3 hours later, that wave of regret just washes over you and you feel like you've totally blown your day. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's time to break that pattern for good. Let's get one thing straight right now. The problem isn't gaming. It's not. So many people will tell you to just quit, but that's not the real solution. The real enemy here is uncontrolled gaming. You know, playing without a plan, without any kind of structure, and just letting it run your schedule instead of the other way around. So why does this even happen? I mean, why do games feel so magnetic, especially when you're stressed out of your mind? Well, there's actually some pretty simple science at play here, and it explains everything. It all comes down to this little chemical called dopamine. Basically, your brain shoots this stuff out whenever you experience something new and exciting, like, say, firing up a new game on PlayStation Plus. And for a tired student, that little hit of dopamine feels like pure relief. It's a warm, comfortable escape from all that academic pressure. So, listen, when you find yourself running towards your console after a long day, it is not because you're lazy or unmotivated. The truth is, your brain is just exhausted. You're searching for relief. You're not trying to avoid work. Just understanding that simple fact is the first step to getting rid of all that self-blame. And this right here, this is the core idea. This is what we're building on. The goal is not to take away something that you enjoy. No way. The goal is to give you the tools to get it under control so that it starts working for you instead of you working for it. Okay, so let's get into the practical stuff. How do you actually get that control? Well, it all comes down to a super simple 3-part system that you can start using every single day. These are the 3 pillars, right? You've got a rule for the morning, a rule for the afternoon, and a rule for the evening. And each one is specifically designed to tackle a different weak spot in a typical student's day. Okay, the morning rule is simple, but it is so powerful. You have to earn it. Before you even think about picking up that controller, you have to complete one hard academic task first. That could be watching one lecture, finishing up on assignment, or just doing one solid hour of focused study. This tiny shift is a total game changer psychologically. It turns gaming from a guilty escape into a reward you actually deserve. Now, for the afternoon break. Look, after hours of studying, your focus is going to drop. It just is. So instead of mindlessly scrolling social media, use a gaming session as a strategic mental reset. But here is the absolute key. You have to limit it to 30 to 40 minutes. Set a timer. I'm serious, actually set a timer. And what you play really, really matters here. You want a reset, right? Not something that drains your mental battery even more. A calm, story-based game lets your brain actually recharge. But those high-stress, competitive multiplayer games, they just spike your adrenaline and can leave you feeling even more tired than when you started. The whole point is to come back to your work refreshed, not all rattled and wound up. I know this sounds like a total paradox, but it is so true. By setting that timer and actually sticking to it, you create the freedom to enjoy your game 100% with zero guilt because you know it's a planned, useful part of your productive day. And finally, the evening rule. This one targets the most dangerous zone for binge gaming. Why? Because your willpower is at its absolute lowest at the end of the day. So the rule is simple and it's non-negotiable. Shut down the console at least 1 full hour before you plan to go to sleep. This one habit protects your sleep, and that directly improves your focus and, yeah, ultimately your grades.
Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. You might be feeling like, yeah, I've heard all this before, but you're still struggling. So let's talk about the emotional side of this for a sec, because it's just as important as all the rules. This is that voice of doubt that creeps in, isn't it? You get the logic, but you're just worried you're going to fail anyway. If you're feeling that, please listen really carefully to this next part. You are not broken. You're just tired of trying to rely on willpower alone.
See, motivation is just a feeling. It comes and it goes. It's awesome when it's here, but you can't count on it. A system, on the other hand, that's a process. It's something you can follow even when you have zero motivation. Those 3 rules we just talked about, that's your system. Trust the system, not your feelings that change from moment to moment. So let's bring this all home. The entire point of this is to shift your whole perspective on gaming. Gaming isn't inherently good or bad. It all comes down to how you choose to use it. When it's used the wrong way, without a system, it just becomes a distraction that feeds your guilt and absolutely tanks your productivity. But when you use it the right way, as a planned reward, as a strategic break for your brain, it becomes an incredible tool for relieving stress that actually helps you win at your academic life. And at the end of the day, it's just like any game, isn't it? You are the one holding the controller. You have the rules, you have the system. The choice of how to play, both in the game and in your life, is totally 100% up to you.